welcome back to Trunk Talk. My name is Charlotte.
And I'm Gabi.
And this is your 2024 Trunk Talk podcast wrapped.
Wow.
Wow.
I will start off by saying usually we're sitting in a trunk, kind of. This time we're sitting in a trunk. We're quite literally in the trunk. Charlotte, what are we sitting in?
Today we're sitting in our Hyundai Veloster. This car's been on our lot for a little while. We're sad to see it go, and honestly, we're quite comfortable sitting here.
It's honestly, a lot of people don't think of this vehicle and think comfort. I beg to differ. It's just not in the driver's seat.
It's all in the trunk space.
It's all in the trunk.
I will say, I feel like one thing we do have to acknowledge is our choice of footwear today. We're currently very much in winter mode. I have my slippers on. Gabby's got her Docs on.
I don't know what's on the bottom of those.
If you're watching the video format of this, I'm really sorry. We didn't think our shoes were going to be in the shot. We were wrong. But
our shoes are the shot.
But today what we are doing is we're basically taking a look at our 2024 and we are reflecting on it. Some of our favorite memories, some of our least favorite memories, and some of the cool things that we got to do this year too.
This is a really difficult podcast episode to film, considering I'm someone who doesn't remember anything.
It's true.
But I did write down 4 points of things that we did. A lot of them were recent.
Okay, well then I feel like it's only fair to let you start, that way you don't forget.
I think as we start talking though, I'll start to remember.
Yeah, you'll start bringing stuff out.
I'll first start off with our most recent experience, and that was LA. We went to the LA Auto Show. This is our second time going, and it was a ton of fun. We got to see a lot of cool cars, and of course being in a different atmosphere, in a completely different country, in a different city was also pretty fun. A little bit that was different about this year compared to the previous year, it was just Charlotte and I.
Yeah, that's what literally I was gonna say.
It was a girls trip and it was a ton of fun. Now for the auto show itself, we got to see a bunch of new models. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite car that they had there?
At the auto show?
Regardless of Kia or Hyundai, it could be a Kia or a Hyundai, but
yeah,
what was
the Porsche Hall is always something to behold. Like, it's always gorgeous. There's so many beautiful vehicles there. So I feel like that's always going to be a highlight.
A good job of classics, and of course their modern cars too were like their most recent lineup, but they always do a really nice job just making it look beautiful. Yeah, it's hard not to do that with cars that good.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
I will say, like, Kia and Hyundai definitely run like those types of auto shows. Like, they just have so much presence there, like in all of the advertising, and then also just their exhibits. Like, there's so much there that I think looks so good.
Yeah.
But that show we also filmed all day. We were filming from like 8:30 to 5:30 pretty much.
It was a challenging day for sure, and I know filming
is
so hard, you guys. It's so hard to press record and talk, but it kind of really was. It was socially exhausting.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Lots of people to talk to. We also we don't know the specs until they're announced, so we're like learning them as kind of they're being announced.
Yeah.
And then we kind of have to go off of that and be like, okay, we just gotta remember this.
I think a challenging part too is because it was an LA auto show, a lot of the specs that were released were more so US specs.
Yeah.
So when they're talking about the range on an EV,
so we have to do the conversion.
It's all in miles, you know what I mean? Which, again, no big deal, but when you're really crunched for time, for the amount of time you can spend with a car because a bunch of other people are waiting to film it, or they're filming it as you're filming it, it can be a little bit stressful, but nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. And it was, I don't know, it's the same thing as last year. It was just a really cool experience, just seeing everything. It's so much bigger, I'll say. I think I might like the Toronto one a little bit better, though. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's just because it's close to home, but maybe I'm more familiar with the layout too. I don't know, but it was really cool.
The one I thought that was also really impressive is I had the opportunity, this was super last minute, but I also went to the New York Auto Show this year. So this year, did a decent amount of traveling. Like, I did New York and then Texas and then Los Angeles, so that was also just a really cool show to be a part of. It's really neat that they have 2 media days, so it just gives you so much more time to spend with the vehicles too. I wasn't there for that, but I was only there for the morning. Like, it was such a quick trip, but very cool to go and see the launch of the K4. That was definitely a highlight for me.
Yeah, so the big release for that episode for that
auto
show was the K4, and then this previous LA Auto Show, it was the new Kia EV6, the new Sportage. They had the Kia EV9 GT as well. For Hyundai, they had their new Ioniq 9, which is kind of the competitor to our Kia EV9, and then they also had the Iridium.
Yes.
Hydrogen fuel cell vehicle.
Which is super, super, super concept right now.
Yes, very concept, but you guys can check out those videos if you're interested on our YouTube channel.
Please.
While Charlotte was in New York, I just remembered I was in
Iceland.
I was in Iceland, and while I wasn't doing anything Kia or Hyundai directly related, I still did something automotive related. I spent a week in Iceland in a van, living in the van, driving the van, So we
Is that
drove,
where they're from?
yeah, we drove around all of Iceland, most of Iceland, I should say. And it was a pretty cool experience. Very, very cool. Lots of cool Kia vehicles there. So they have an Optima Sport Wagon. So this giant long hatchback. That's a PHEV. I don't know. I
didn't know it was PHEV.
Yeah, they had it as a PHEV. It was absolutely wicked. They had lots of Sportages there. And I was amazed with how many electric vehicles there are. Mind you, the fuel prices in Iceland kind of... I would get an EV too.
Yes, it makes sense.
I was spending almost $200 a day on diesel for our Volkswagen van, which still had a small displacement engine. It was one of the more fuel efficient options. So it's absolutely ridiculous there, but really cool to see just our vehicles, but in different markets and how they're so different.
Yes.
Yet still kind of similar.
That's something that always fascinates me when I travel. Just seeing like what vehicles are there and what's different, what's new.
And Charlotte, that's not all for traveling, right? We went somewhere else different.
We went to Texas.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Gabby got a tattoo.
I
that
did.
way you guys know that it actually happened.
It's authentic because it's from Texas. It's a horseshoe for good luck. And for yeehawing.
So I feel like 2024 really was a year of a lot of cool opportunities, and us going to Texas, this was actually the first, I guess like partnership or the first opportunity that we had to work directly with Kia Canada.
Yes.
And that was so cool. They have such an amazing marketing team.
Yes.
Like every person that is a part of that team is just fantastic, phenomenal, and so much fun.
A lot of fun. Seriously,
Yeah.
we had so much fun with the Kia team. There was a lot of young influencers there as well too, and just I don't know, it was Austin, Texas. We were in a city with a lot of cool people, but we had so much fun with just the Kia team.
Yeah, they were really awesome.
Yeah, we had a good time.
But yeah, that was just such a cool thing to be a part of and just see the behind the scenes. I feel like, you know, being someone who's grown up on social media, not necessarily doing social media like we are now, but just seeing it, like you always see people go on like these brand trips and stuff like that. So just getting a little bit of the insight as to what those are actually like was really cool.
The thought that goes behind it too was insane.
So intentional, all the details.
Yeah, the planning. It was a K4 drive trip. So we went there to drive the brand new K4. They laid out awesome routes for us with awesome recommendations of coffee shops, restaurants, places to stop that had cool murals. So we really got to experience Austin, Texas without thinking too much.
Yes.
Everything was kind of thought out for us, and that was a lot of fun.
We just had to show up.
We showed up. We did some extra stuff. Maybe some regretful stuff. Just getting out of my tattoo. But it was a ton of fun. A beautiful city as well.
Yeah, I'd go back for sure.
Street food was awesome.
Okay, do you have a favorite video that we filmed? Or favorite, like, type of video?
Favorite type of video? I think test drives are always fun. We haven't filmed too many. Probably our best video I think we did, and a lot of it comes down to Tom. We did an EV9 test drive, and he also filmed a podcast episode for us and a dealer walkthrough. But what a cool guy to be around. He did an awesome job working through our very rough footage and just made a very beautiful video displaying a beautiful car. The EV9's awesome. It was a lot of fun driving it. We got absolutely attacked by mosquitoes in the process. So throughout the video, you can see the progression of a mosquito bite on my forehead. It just gets bigger and bigger. And I'm trying to do the exterior walkthrough of this car in Mosquito Central. I was in their home.
It was pretty rough.
I went to Mosquitoville and everyone knew me. So it was rough. The behind the scenes footage, every 5 seconds, it's me swatting something on my arm or getting something out of my face. But he worked through it, and you can barely tell that we were struggling.
So check him out. His handle is @AtomicPixel. He does some really fantastic stuff. And if you haven't watched that video, it's actually our pinned video on our YouTube channel. So check it out.
We're proud of that one.
Yeah, we are. Because we didn't have to do very much of it. It's all his magic.
It just shows how you can make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
The raw footage was not good. not good. But we did some other fun stuff too, didn't we?
I feel like, okay, this was a little bit more basic, but I feel like our first Ioniq 5N video was a lot of fun because I think that vehicle surprised me a lot more than I thought it was going to.
Absolutely it did.
And then it also kind of led into some other opportunities, like doing a track day with CGR Performance at Toronto Motorsports Park in Cayuga, which was so cool to be a part of. So we actually got to go and bring that and the EV6 GT, and we got to do some roller racing. And yeah, it was a ton of fun. Long day, hot day, but a lot of fun.
Yes, I feel like every time I ever go to Cayuga, it's one of those blistering hot days. It's probably the worst day ever, but it was a lot of fun. And for once, because a lot of the times I've been there in the past has been either with my dad or maybe with their team, we're in a car that could comfortably have the air conditioning on. So it wasn't that bad. And for reference, I don't think we ever posted a long form YouTube video about this, but there are some YouTube shorts on our page. We took the Kia EV6 GT, so our high performance EV6, and then the Ioniq 5N, like Charlotte mentioned. So two competitors. Obviously the Ioniq 5N does have a little bit more advantage in the sense that it's got a drag mode, it's got a track mode, it's got more horsepower. But it was really fun putting them to the test, how they handle and all that stuff. We even got to take the Ioniq 5N on the road course with Ryan DuPont, so
it was pretty sweet.
This is a big shout out video.
This is a big shout out video. Well, I think it's just because we had so many cool opportunities to work with different people or like do a lot of really cool collaborative videos, and like that was so different than I feel like what we did before.
Yeah.
Like we had a lot of collaborative opportunities this year, which was so neat.
A lot of opportunity to meet cool people, do stuff with cool people, film cool cars, do cool things. It was just a really cool year. That is our podcast wrapped. Wait, another thing that's pretty special is this is our first year of podcasting.
Oh yeah, because we started that in January.
Yeah, this is our very, very first podcast year of podcasting.
This is season 1.
Season 1.
And you guys were here for it. Congrats.
Yep. And I mean, maybe we should talk about that. Our very first podcast episode.
Yeah.
Which was all-wheel drive
versus, I think it's called Do You Really Need All-Wheel Drive?
Yep.
And it's the all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive debate, and I feel like we reference it so often, especially now.
Oh my
Now that
gosh.
we're in winter, we're like, oh, do you really need all-wheel drive?
I talk about this to everybody on the planet. You don't need all-wheel drive. It's nice to have,
tires.
but chances are you don't need it. Some people absolutely do, but most people don't. Anyway, watch that. Listen to that podcast episode if you want the full scoop. But that was a really cool start. And I think the podcast has definitely grown quite a bit since then.
I feel like just doing some more like tech or just more automotive, more general videos has kind of helped us because we're able to refer back to them. Like we reference things about our dual clutch video all the time, or CVTs versus IVTs. Is there actually a mechanical difference and stuff like that? So it just gives us a base point to kind of go off of and be like, if you want more information, we've already put up the content on it. So I think it's just further like giving us a little bit more edge as in general automotive too, while also maintaining our specifics to Kia and Hyundai.
Yeah, and we understand that not everyone is going to be a Kia Hyundai owner. Maybe they have other vehicles that they love. We want to make this podcast as accessible to everyone. It's also not just for people that eat, sleep, and breathe cars. People that just want to know anything about a vehicle and maybe don't want it in a super scientific way. We like to think that we talk about things pretty casually and fairly easy to understand, because Charlotte and I, we're not master technicians. We're not master scientists. We know the ins and outs of cars, and I feel like we can express it pretty straight up.
Yeah, it's hopefully easily put into layman's terms.
Yes.
Yeah. But anything else you want to add? Any difficulties for this year?
Oh, we have technical difficulties every single day.
That's literally what I wrote down. There are tech problems.
Every day we go live, there's a 37% chance we're not going to have audio. There is a 87% chance that the gimbal is going to fall.
Yeah.
It happens multiple times in videos. There's a chance that there's spiders in the video bay. There's a pretty high chance we get our heels stuck in the grate on the floor over here.
Or the rails of a car.
Or the rails of a car. You got it. There's a pretty low chance. The odds of you having an allergic reaction during a YouTube video are low, but never zero. Never zero. I found that out this Monday. And whoever watched that video live before I cut the clip, the clip is what I'm going to call it. You keep it quiet, okay? No one talk about what happened in that video. I'm taking that to my grave. Charlotte wasn't at work that day.
I was off sick, but Gabby was like, you need to go watch this end clip of this video.
She sent me a picture of her reaction, absolutely dying laughing.
It did make me feel better. I was down and out. I've been really sick this week, and that genuinely made me laugh.
Yeah.
So, well, on that note,
shall we give so recently Spotify did their Spotify Wrapped, which gives you your listening dynamics, most played songs, most played artists, that kind of thing. Charlotte is an Apple Music user, but they do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it. So what is your Apple Music Wrapped last song, or most played song?
Most played song, I believe, was Benny and the Jets by Elton John. I wish we could say we're surprised. We're not. No. I'm more of a Goodreads Wraps type girl, though.
Yeah. What was your Goodreads Wrap?
I read 75 books this year. We still got a little bit of time before the year ends, and most of them were around 400 pages was my average
I was gonna say, what was your most read book? But I guess people don't really do that. I just can't put this one down
once.
Cover to cover multiple times every single week. My most played song was Two Princes by the Spin Doctors, and again, I'm not surprised. That song is an absolute banger. Definitely a must play on the way to work. But if we're really talking,
we got some opposite tastes.
If we're really talking about most played song, I have to give that to my alarm clock. Because my alarm clock, and everyone, my roommate hates me for this because sometimes I leave my iPad that does my alarm on the main floor, so the whole house hears it.
Very good.
While I'm in my room. A Rockstar by Nickelback. Hear it every day. I don't really seem to get sick
We all
of it.
just want to be big rock stars.
Live in hilltop houses.
Driving 15 cars.
I won't say the rest, but check it out if you haven't already.
Well, on that note, again, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed us just reflecting on the year that we had in 2024, and we're very much looking forward to 2025. So our next episode is going to be talking about just that, and we'll see you next time.
2025 predictions.
2025 predictions.
Goals, hopes, dreams, everything.
Product.
Perhaps.
We'll see you there.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.